guys, it's Erin here with my second Project Life Sunday video, and this is week 7. I did this week with a sort of Valentine's feel, even though we don't celebrate Valentine's, because this week actually had our 12-year wedding anniversary in it on February 10th. So I did actually mention that, and we went out for dinner and stuff. So I wanted it to have sort of a Valentine's feel without being like overly cutesy, and I didn't want to add too much red because I actually don't like red very much. So I took, last year I ended up with papers from Gossamer Blue, my kit subscription, and they did a more themed kind of paper, so I used those. And I have a few other papers from a couple other companies set aside that, you know, are kind of Valentine's and whatever. I was just noticing that those papers measured weird. I think it was because I had used that paper previously and cut some from it, so it wasn't quite 12 by 12 anymore. I used a little bit of pink on this. It's like a pink and a craft type color. So, but I didn't want to use too much, so I just did that one sheet and then figured that I could use that pink for like a little accent. I don't know what it is with the, you know, red pink family that I just don't like, but I don't even for romantic-y stuff. So I'm just basically going along with my process of deciding where the papers are going to go, cutting down the images. All of these images ended up being either Instagram photos or in-game photos that I just put into squares. One of them is from Elder Scrolls Online, and the other is from Elder Scrolls Skyrim, the online multiplayer game and the single-player game, because I did both of them that week. And I had, you know, stuff to write about it. And I didn't take a whole lot of photos this week, so I didn't have a whole ton to include. So I figured game photos wouldn't really hurt. So I have the papers laid out and the photos laid out, and I'm just deciding on what kind of washi tape and embellishments I want to use. I have a lot of different reds, but not ones that weren't bright, and the red that's in the kind of brown craft looking paper is more of a distressed red, so I wanted to go with that instead of a bright. So I'm going to stamp the week number stamp. Every single week this year is going to have one, and probably from now on, because I really like the look of the circle, and it's easy kind of consistency to do. So I just cut it out of that little polka dot paper from Gossamer Blue. And I usually just go card by card and, you know, pocket by pocket and decide what I want to do, because I find it a lot easier. It's like working on a small card, you know, instead of a whole layout. It's just one little card that you have to worry about the design for. And I had these little lawn fawn whales colored before, and sometimes I just sit and color stamps without really planning on doing anything with it or not knowing what kind of card I want to make. So I had those sitting off to the side, and I thought, oh, well, those are kind of Valentine's themed and they're cute, so why not just use those? So I went with that, and I was auditioning that stamp, but then I thought maybe some of these stickers would work. They're just a bunch of different stickers from like Simple Stories and their little labels, and they had like a DIY collection, so you could make your own Project Life cards. So I just did that. This layout took me a little under an hour. I got interrupted a couple times as my new keyboard arrived and my new mouse arrived. Oh no, it was my new keyboard. So my new keyboard arrived, and I wanted to try that out, and then like the dogs interrupted me again, and then like, so this video got a bit crazy, and I took a bunch of breaks while making it. But yeah, it ended up recording time being a little under an hour, so I don't think that's too bad. I mean, considering that I make a layout in a half an hour, this is like a bunch of little layouts. Yeah, see, that's why I broke. I just basically took out a bunch of my stamps because I wanted to I wanted to use food-themed stamps, and I knew I had gotten some cool ones from Gossamer Blue last year from their Life Pages kit. So this one says a special treat, and the other one says this is so good. And it's just a photo of the Red Lobster meal that I had for our anniversary. And because I had been craving lobster, so it was kind of handy that that's one of the few places that we actually enjoy going to dinner down in Victorville. Most places that we like to eat are in, what do you call it, San Bernardino or Ontario, but it's harder to drive down there during a weekday, and it was like, was it Tuesday was our anniversary? So, yeah, it's like Mike has to be able to get to work, and Victorville is closer. So I didn't cut out me writing anything, but I was just saying our special anniversary dinner was Red Lobster, and we went to do a double feature of Jupiter Ascending and American Sniper. So just making a note of that. I'm going to make a layout, I'll probably make a layout. I guess I kind of used all of my photos, but I should make a layout about, our anniversary and stuff like that. I usually put layouts and Project Life in the same thing, so you kind of see them all together. And that's that one done. And so I'm going to move on to the next one. And I'm trying to decide if I like that photo placement better, because I have more to say about the flower picture. The flower is not an actual flower. It's a flower that Mike made. He came home one day and he said, do you have plain paper and a pencil and some glue and some scissors? And I'm like, I looked over at my stuff and I'm like, no, I don't have any of those things. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I showed him where all my cardstock was, and he picked stuff out, and he, disappeared into our bedroom where his desk is. And, oh, this is what I'm writing here now. He, when I woke up on Tuesday on our actual anniversary, there was this paper flower that he had made sitting on my desk waiting for me. So in the past years, he's gotten me these gold dipped flowers before, and I have a whole collection, which is pretty cool. But I thought this was really sweet that he sat and made this. It's got all of the petals he cut by himself, and then it's got embossed lines through the petals, so it looks like 3D. And yeah, the whole flower itself is 3D. If you cup it in your hand, it's about as big as it is. And so I was just writing about that, and it's sitting on my desk now, and so I see it every day. And so yeah, I put as much detail as I could. It's not like a huge story or anything. That's why I figure it didn't need to be on the layout itself. And just me layering some washi tape for this, and I was just saying that Mike and I were playing our characters in Elder Scrolls, and we finally made our way through the last zone and made some new armor for our characters, and did some quests with one of our guildie friends. It was actually a new guildie who ended up now being an officer because he's, great guy. So he's not in charge of the guild, but he's got some say in it. So if you don't know what an officer of a guild is, weird gamer speak. And then this picture from Skyrim, I'm just saying that one of my saves got corrupted, so I restarted this character with his traveling companion, one of the guys that you hire within the game. And that he's not the Dragonborn, but one of my other characters is. This guy is just straight thief, which is fun. It's fun to play the Thieves Guild and do all this stealing and stuff like that. And this is a picture of my art journal, and I thought it was funny because while I was building a background, I didn't have anything to hold my pages down, so I was using my my punches, and so my punches end up super covered in paint and everything. Since I started cutting out these, what do you call them? Cassette tapes. There we are. Since I started cutting out these cassette tapes, I thought I would try and embellish more with them. So I figured I'd incorporate it onto the title page too. And yeah, I basically just said I was making this background and I just made a big old mess, but art is funny when you actually have no direction whatsoever. And moving on to the next card, it's a picture of the meal that we had for actual Valentine's Day. We made a pot roast, mashed potatoes and carrots, and we don't celebrate actual Valentine's Day because obviously our anniversary is on the 10th, so it's not that big of a difference. But we had a nice meal and caught up on Supernatural and The Walking Dead, so that's kind of our thing anyway. This next break is because I switched out that one card for just a note card, and then I went through my Facebook and just came up with like one-line sentences of stuff that happened that doesn't have pictures, but it's just what was going on during the week. Like I got a note from my doctor and got put on antibiotics again, and what the antibiotic was and how long and blah blah blah. What we were watching, movies that we did, just random stuff like that. Stuff that I could look back and go, oh yeah, that was a fun week or whatever. So I usually try and include one card on my spread of just one-line things like that. And I thought I'd include another cassette tape piece. And basically in this part, this is where I start to embellish. So I'm embellishing with my little heart punch and some more washi onto this note card. I think the note card is from Simple Stories DIY, and it's like the same with the letter stickers. It's kind of a way to make your own cards instead of having to always buy them and stuff, or do like me and make them out of pattern paper only. So it comes with like a bunch of different lines and a bunch of like patterns and stuff like that. And here I am adding some enamel hearts from Prima, because I always like some sort of enamel on there. And then I'm going to get out my enamel dots too and add just dots. I didn't really put too many on this. I just kind of went with this half-used thing of dots. I didn't really go crazy with the embellishments. And here's a quick overview of what it looks like, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.